First, she launched the beauty diet, which was fantastic. So yeah, we are about to launch the new book, which is called The Love Diet. And looking at her, you have no sort of doubts about the fact that you're going to look absolutely gorgeous when you start eating this new food. Look at her, give her a big hand, she's looking terrific. And as soon as we have the lady who is going to inaugurate the book, or rather launch the book, we shall start. So, is Joya here? Hello? Is Joya here? She's not here. Oh, okay, so I have to keep you amused for a little longer. Good. So, Shonali, do you want to talk to your guests about how this journey began for you and how you sort of decided on changing people's lives for the better?
So, the book is just not about, you know, like the title, it says The Love Diet, and the first time you look at it, everybody's going to think, oh, it's a soppy love book. And, you know, it's got all these chapters on men, women, and, you know, them having fun and everything. But it goes beyond that. The idea actually came to me when I was going back through the old texts on macrobiotics, and the founder of the diet, Michio Kushi, goes to a concept which he says is one peaceful world. So the question there he's trying to answer is that can the modern civilization actually take the food and address vibration and consciousness? Goes back again to our Ayurvedic texts, as we all know, you know, food is prana, and therefore how much can it nourish us? And therefore create blood structure which helps us manifest everything we want. So be it, you know, follow your dream, like I'm following mine. After I came to macrobiotics, I wanted to bring it to India, and I'm following mine. And basically, that was the tenet of the book. That was the basic premise of the book. And so that's what I went with, and that's how the book took birth.
I'm about to start making a film. I'm going to start shooting in May. And I was talking to an old friend of mine, and I said, you know, I really need a nutritionist. I need somebody that's going to make my energy soar. I feel my energy levels are much lower now, and I'm working 16-hour days, and it's not cutting it. She happened to be Shonali's school friend. So she said, just meet her. So I met Shonali, and I was like, I need certain things. I want my energy to be up. I feel like my tongue is usually white. I don't know what's wrong with my system. And we had a couple of sessions. And I think what to eat, what not to eat. The thing is, food, and at least what's being produced now, and what's being sold now, and what's being marketed now, it's frightening. I think we are what we eat. And food has the capability, this is your vehicle, your body, and to take care of it is, your fuel is what you put in it. And it was so important, and it was so amazing to learn about food, how it can be cooked, and what it can do to heal yourself, to make your body be optimum. And for the few shallow people here to lose weight and to glow. All these things are important. I think food should be taught. Children should be taught about food and how they should feed themselves, because we are at a point right now where our government is trying to bring GMOs into the country, which is genetically modified seeds. So it's frightening. You don't know what's going into your system. So I started with her, and I feel better, and I hope I look better. No. So that's it. So just read the book and decide for yourself. Thank you. an effort. You have to, because right now I think like when I go, I will make sure that there is brown rice with me. Whether it's carried, whether it's got on location, I will make sure like what I eat, and I will make sure that my staples are provided for. And then I mean you get vegetables everywhere, you get fish everywhere, whatever you're doing, but you have to make that effort. You know, gone are the days where it was available. I mean now abroad at least things are easily available, but on a set it's tough. So when you're in Bombay it's fine because my dabba comes from home. But when you're on location, you just have to make that effort. Carry your snacks with you. I mean, that's what most people do.
I mean, moved me means you know, I think the fact that you can allow and give your body is such a fine piece of machinery, and you need to allow it to heal. You can cure yourself. I think that is what blew my mind. You know, that I mean you have to be conscious and you have to be aware what you're putting in there, because it makes up everything. And I think there's nothing more important, frankly, if you're, I mean there's no point working out if you're going to not take care of what you put into your body. Yeah. What I love about it is that I'm never hungry. You know, because diet is a scary word here. You know, I'm never hungry. I have a huge sweet tooth. But the amount, I mean, the kind of stuff that I can eat, whether it's food, I'm not craving it. You know, my sugar levels are right. I'm fine. So what I love about it is that I don't feel like I'm missing out. You know, that's what I like about it.
So it's about creating good blood condition and therefore changing your internal structure. Because let me tell you my story. I've woven that into the book. That when I started doing Vipassana meditation, it made no sense till I cleaned my diet up to me. I mean, I started vibrating at another level once I did the meditation and I cleaned my diet up. You know, they work together. So it's about creating love in your life, and I've gone with the idea of self-love. I've started with the premise that we all have to love ourselves first, then I've gone about doing some research, proving that in the second chapter, saying, you know, talk to single men, married women, single women, single and involved and single and not involved, and I've gone that route and checked their opinions out and then put it down in the book and said, listen, this is what they think, this is what I think, and this is what I think is happening around me, and this is where I got with what I did. Okay? And this is where you can go to, and then I've given you the food secrets and the principles of using it to create love in your life on every level. You know, and then of course going back to giving back and compassionate love, which is where we really need to go. So that's what the book is about, and we're waiting for Jacqueline to come, so I'm going to take the time to tell you that I decided to donate my first year's proceeds to 2 charities. We have the founder trustees here in the audience with us. One charity is called the E Foundation, and we have Sunita Chararia here. And the other foundation is called the Ra Foundation, and we have Sunil Nayak here. So if my first year's proceeds, my first year's earnings are going to go to these 2 charities. This is in keeping with the ethos of the book and what the book talks about. It talks about giving back and talks about eventually sharing the space that you're in, and that's the space that I felt I gotten when I wrote this book. It was very cathartic. It was a fantastic journey writing. Every time you write, you grow. So I'd like them just to come and say a few words.
Of course, yes.
The cause EVE, which means empowering villages everywhere, was begun 4 years ago by my 2 children and a friend of theirs. It began as a school project. You know, you're supposed to do something for social service, you know, empathy, etc. They collected their birthday money, and they subsidized lamps, 50 lamps to a village, Neemkathana in Rajasthan. That was fine. There was a greater demand. They didn't know how to respond to it because they didn't have more funds. But somehow they scrummaged, asked friends, families, everybody, and got together some more money because the demand was almost instantaneous. Within 3 weeks, they needed 200 more lamps. So they got that together, they sent it off. But then they decided, Josh and Nishka Churaria and Nikhil Alwani, they decided to go and visit these villages where they had Kibbutzim lamps. They were shocked. When they had gone to distribute the lamps, it was shocking enough to imagine what is life without electricity, or none whatsoever, or completely undependable.
Thank you very much for coming, Pralad.
No, I have had the microbiotic and I've made my own suggestions as to how to improve its longevity. Not the longevity of the person who's eating it, but definitely the longevity of the food, because they're two contradictory things. You always remember that if you want to live for long, then you have to sometimes eat pretty shit looking food. So the thing is that if anything medically can be wrong with somebody and who then is in complete denial, that's me. I've been through one bypass, I've been through a couple of stents, I've been through varicose veins, I've got high BP, I've got uric acid, I've got... I'm a perfect guinea pig for microbiotic food. So the point is that over a period of time, slowly she's been convincing me to start at least partly partaking of it. She sends it home and it looks fantastic. I eat a little bit, my wife eats the rest. If you look at what my wife looks like and you look at what I look like, now you know the difference between people who eat microbiotic food and those who don't. Mitali, will you please come here? Yes.
That's the wife, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so...
She's a jalebi eater actually.
No, just come here.
She's a jalebi eater wanting to get out.
Okay, so now you know the difference of what you're going to look like if you eat microbiotic food and what you're going to look like if you don't. Because after a while, I've stopped trying to convince people that she's my wife and I now introduce her as my daughter.
Hi, I'm Akhtar and you're watching me on Tuber Studio.